Hey, do you want to know a fun fact?
Mm-hmm.
I really think that all of us should get together and just and then we're like oil. You think about it, like all of us are on top of and then he
Sucking it.
Yeah, Cayden discovered the censor board. That's pretty good.
I'm
That's
having
pretty
a really good time over here, guys.
Let's just hope the censorship board doesn't discover us.
Yeah, true. Nice.
Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only.
All right, welcome back. This is your co-host Julian speaking, and we'll be boarding shortly for Wrong Answers Only, the Quizmeisters After Show podcast. My flight crew this evening is I am joined by Oscar,
Hi.
Cayden,
He's doing a visual joke for a podcast.
It is fully getting cropped out by the low angle.
I don't care about the podcast. I live in the moment.
All right, I'm back in normal. And we're also joined by Nick.
Nick's here. Yeah.
Again, on the good mic. I'm not on that one.
No.
Yeah.
Nick, for those who might not know, what the heck do you do at Quizmeisters?
I make all the fun, pretty pictures and the videos and stuff.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Well, the biggest part of the job is the films, the film scenes. All the name these films is like we spend just an insane amount of time on those. Name these
truly
10s.
absurd.
I've seen more ads than anyone ever in human history. Because I'm not just watching them on TV, I'm watching them again and again and again to censor out your favorite products.
How do you find the ads? Where do you find those?
There's a whole bunch of freaks on the internet that upload just like hours of like I don't know whether they recorded them themselves like decades ago or they go to garage sales and find like miscellaneous VHS tapes and upload them. That's like people just upload stuff from Channel 7, 1984 ads, channel, and then there's, I don't know, the other ones like the new ads are just like websites that go like, hey, these are the best ads you've ever seen for 2025 and we're the advertising group of this sort of thing. So it's a huge divide. Like people making lots of money out of this stuff and people that don't
Just love it.
Don't have any money. I assume
The entire spectrum's just there.
they spend their sort of pension on VHS tapes at garage sales, I think.
I'm glad someone's doing it.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be doing that service. For
Look,
the world.
I can't imagine doing it, but God, am I glad that, because we have found, like, one of the things that from doing Name These Ads is like, especially now in like Instagram ad and TikTok ad era, like a lot of ads don't make it to TV and they don't even really like have a place that they live. Like you see them as an ad and then they're gone, which a lot of people wouldn't lament. But like at a certain point, like that stuff's just going to disappear. Once it's been served to you on like some website or service or app, it's going to be like just gone forever.
Yeah. Everyone's always talking about lost media, but what about like all the lost advertising?
Yeah.
That's important stuff. That's media.
It is. And we
Yeah.
need it to continue this quiz.
Yeah, we do. It's very important to our product.
I would say that Name These Ads is one of the funniest things that we enjoy in the office.
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
Like when I find like some absolute gem of like an insane ad from the 90s or something like that, it's the funnest thing. Like there's a couple of songs that just like, man,
Palm
they've
olive
been
shampoo.
Palm olive shampoo.
We sung that on the
Palm olive
podcast
shampoo,
before.
the Control and Ice one, the song. Oh man, I can't even get it right because it's like the tune of it is so crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's
Oscar,
stuff.
can we go ahead and play the Control with Ice song?
Here we go, right
Yep.
now.
Ma, she's making eyes at me. Hey, she's awful nice to me. Oh, she's giving me a new drink. It's just so nice. Have you tried it? with ice.
Wow, that was really nice. You know what? Cheers to that, everyone. Let's get into the episode.
Christ almighty. Cayden's just
I'm
fallen.
in.
He's fallen
Sorry,
into
I
the
fell
room.
from the roof this time. There was multiple layers.
Well, we
was
realized
crazy.
that wall is not very strong.
No.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Hey, Cayden, welcome back.
It's good to be back. I'm gonna take the studies off because they are. Is this like hurting your head?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's like really painful.
Just incredibly tight.
Yeah, because the earphones are just squishing them into my skull.
Hmm.
Oh, but everything's so bright.
Oh, well.
I don't like it.
Beauty is
Anyway,
pain.
sorry. Okay, hi everyone. I'm here. I'm back. Nick, go ahead. Put the sunnies on. If you'd like to see Nick in the sunnies, go ahead and sign up to Club to watch the video version of the podcast.
Nice. Good plug.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. It's horrible. But you look cool. You look great.
It's worth it.
Mm-hmm. I'm here to go through a couple of wrong answers for you guys. There's not too many today, and they're not the best, but we'll see.
Fine with me, man. That's fine
see.
with me.
We'll see what we can do with them. All right, starting out with the score check. Average score this week was 42.
Okay.
Pretty high. That's like right in line with our standards. So, and I also added a couple hints after that. So you guys should have done well this week. I expect most teams to have gotten 42 or above. And if you didn't, why don't you take a long, hard look in the mirror and maybe do a little bit better, huh?
I thought you were just going to swear at them.
No, I forgot I could do that. All right. No, it's okay. Moment's gone now. All right. So here we go. First one that I really enjoyed was Name These Ads, Nick. Now, the ad that you put in this quiz was an ad for Medibank, I believe. That was like a lady.
Oh, yeah.
She's like waking up in the hospital. She keeps getting woken up by all these different patients coming into her room or whatever. And then she realizes it was a nightmare. That she wakes up, none of that was real, and she's actually being cared for in a private room thanks to her incredible Medibank insurance.
And thank you, Medibank, for
Thank
sponsoring
you,
the podcast
Medibank,
today.
for sponsoring the podcast today. Feel better or live better or whatever
I
their
feel
slogan
better
is.
now.
Thank you. That one. Anyway, the one team thought that was an advertisement for pillows.
Oh, my favorite company.
just the concept of pillows. They just saw a woman sleeping and they were like, well, shit.
It's got to be pillows.
I think I know what that is.
It's also funny that they thought in a pillow ad the whole ad would be someone having a nightmare though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the pillows didn't really affect things, to be honest. You know, people coming into your room, I don't know if there's any pillow in the world that's going to really help you out with that, but
No.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the pillows that you can get access to with Medibank Private, maybe they can change things for you. All right. Next up, we had the question number one. What was question number one, Julian?
Let me pull it up. Question number one was what was
the original one that went out of this?
Before we tweaked it, it was what are the 8 countries that have finished first at the Olympic Games?
That's right. And that's fine. That was a fine question to have. But in the results, when I looked at people's answer sheets, I had like 4 different teams write Greece. And I thought that was interesting because Greece has
not
not
wrong.
won any of the modern Olympic Games. But then we realized, like, well, yeah. I think
They were the only ones
I
there
think
originally.
you'd be hard pressed to say that Greece didn't do pretty well at the Olympic Games for quite a while. In fact, I probably
pretty funny.
racked up quite a few wins, I would guess. So we added the word modern there to clarify it. Nice little tweak. We
Well
love
done.
tweaking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Office
you.
boys be tweaking.
Office
Oh, yeah.
boys be tweaking. Speaking of countries, we also asked, what is the only country in the world that has no mosquitoes? Nick, what did you say to this?
Iceland.
Yeah, he's very smart.
Can I ask why you knew that, Nick? Because I would never have guessed that.
I mean, like everyone's going. It's basically the next best thing to Antarctica because everyone goes like, well, there can't be. And then I was like, well, if it's not Antarctica, because that's not really a country, what's the next closest thing that is a country?
Are there any other
Iceland.
Are there any other land masses up north there that you might think of?
Greenland?
What do you think about Greenland as an answer?
I didn't include it as my answer because I figured that it was part of like a continental shelf. So like, I know it's part of like it's the Arctic Circle, but it does sort of join over to stuff when it freezes or something like that. So it's like feasibly mosquitoes could get over there.
Is Nick the smartest man alive?
He might be.
Yeah.
He might be.
Yeah, it's like spot on.
For some reason, geography and like the way that the world looks is like a real specific thing that I have.
Yeah.
But
That and finding terrible music from 90s ads.
oh,
Your greatest strength.
No, that's just a passion, not a
Fair, very
Passion project.
But yeah, we had a couple teams say Antarctica and a bunch of teams say Greenland. You are right, Nick. The reason why it's wrong, there's two reasons. Number one, they do have
does have
mosquitoes.
mozzies.
And that is,
They've just got a shitload.
they got
of
a
it.
bunch. But yeah, basically the pattern with which Greenland thaws out does allow for like mosquito breeding habits or however those guys work. I'm not a moz expert, but also Greenland is not a country.
Yeah.
So I did add a hint in there. I added a little thing after my test to be like, guys, the answer is an actual country. Please make sure your answer is a country.
Is Greenland
So if
part
any of you-
Denmark?
Yeah.
Yes. God, he's
God,
just
he's
the
so
smartest
good.
man in the world.
So good.
So yeah, hopefully that helps people out. And we didn't have too many people saying Greenland. We probably did, to be honest, because the question already said country, and I'm not sure if people know whether or not Greenland is or isn't a country. Its country status is kind of tricky, and that's fair. I probably didn't know that a while ago, but yeah, I thought that was interesting enough to warrant wasting everyone's time talking about for a minute or two.
No, that's good.
The
Back yourself,
also,
Cayden.
the reason I was thinking of that is because didn't Trump just recently go like, we're thinking about
Oh, yeah,
taking,
true.
we're just thinking about taking
Why don't
Greenland.
you just give it to us?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Denmark was like,
And well, you know
"Fuck off."
why he wanted to do that? It's because of all the mosquitoes there. A lot of people don't realize that one of nature's greatest natural resources is mosquitoes, but no one's harvested truly the potential of them yet.
They've got woolly mosquitoes.
They go- woolly mosquitoes. You can shear them and make a really soft fabric out.
It's expensive though.
Yeah. Well, you need quite a few to make it work.
But Greenland's got them.
They got
do,
them.
they do.
Greenland's got them. Iceland don't.
That's the takeaway here, folks. That's the takeaway.
All right, moving on. We had one question about movies. The question was, an international co-production between the US and Australia, which animated film is the highest grossing Australian movie? Now, we already did this quiz pretty recently, so I don't get to quiz anyone.
I wasn't in the
Oscar,
test.
Yeah.
what's the answer?
Happy feet.
Happy Feet is correct. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
I had a couple people say Finding Nemo. Quite a few teams wrote Finding
Fair.
Nemo. I think they're just
Fair.
like, well, it's animated. There's quite a bit of, Wallaby
Australiana.
Way, Sydney,
It's set in
Australiana in there.
Australia, yeah.
We also had a discussion internally about whether or not the Lego movie should count.
Yeah.
Why?
and-
As an Australian film?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
The primary animation studio is Sydney based. They're an
Yeah.
official production company of the film.
Yeah.
wow, that's
All of the
so
animation
hot.
was done in Australia, and one of the production companies is Australian. But
The same animation studio, I'm pretty sure, that did Happy Feet.
yes,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Animal Logic.
Well, they've come so far.
They really have. They really have.
Nick, this one's fun for you, perhaps. We had a sports question.
Fun for me.
Which team did the Oklahoma City Thunder defeat in the NBA Finals last week? Oscar, the answer, please.
It was, of course, Collingwood.
That is correct. But we had some answers here. Nick, I don't know if these are teams that are even in the right sport.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you if you're right or wrong about
Yeah.
like baseball or something like that. But yeah, hit me with some
We had
wrong answers.
some wrong answers. We had Houston Rockets.
That is a team.
That's
yeah.
good. LA Lakers.
Yeah, that's
The LA,
You
I-
know that.
I
Come
believe,
on.
stands for Los Angeles. The
God, he's
yeah,
good.
the Lakers made it in. The Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I know all of these are real, but
Okay.
I don't know if they're the right sport. The Celtics.
Yeah,
One team wrote the Philadelphia Pacers.
that's wrong.
That's wrong
yeah,
because the actual answer is the
Indiana.
Indiana Pacers. But they just wrote the Philly Pacers doesn't exist.
No, Philadelphia is
Go
70.
Birds! Go Birds! Go the Eagles!
Nice.
the 76ers. I think is the Philadelphia
You're,
team.
you're telling me that some of the teams are called like some of the teams are called animals.
Yeah.
Some of them are called like Rockets or Warriors, and one of them's just called 76.
76ers. Yeah, I don't know. I've actually.
What?
Hey, that should be What is I've never understood the naming convention in some sports teams to just go like it's a couple of numbers and we're those two numbers.
Yeah.
We'll deep
Is that when they
dive
were made?
on that in a couple
76ers,
weeks.
like they were founded in 1976? Maybe
It's a very,
1876.
very
That does-
good
Or
guess.
maybe 76 AD.
'Cause we have an NBL team that's called that as well.
Julian, the answer?
Yeah, you were pretty close to commemorate the year 1776 when the
Oh.
Declaration of Independence was signed.
Oh,
Sick.
wow. You were joking, but you were on it.
An NBA team named after the Declaration of Independence. America's
Wow.
so sick, dude.
Wow,
America rules.
you found respect for the
Wow.
76ers.
Salute.
That's so funny to go like 1976. Yeah, they might have the
man.
the team might have started in 1776.
That's the country. That's awesome, dude. Wow. Cool. And then one other team just wrote your mum.
Oh.
And I thought that was pretty cool. And then
Hey.
I examined the answer.
Is that,
sheet,
never
is that a
fails.
team, Nick?
and yeah, is your mum a
Your
team?
mama's.
That's actually named in honor of the mothers of the founding.
The founding mothers.
The founding mothers who
Everyone's
found
always
the
talking
fathers.
about the founding fathers. No one's talking about the founding mothers.
What is up with that?
What are we doing here? But that was actually Liam's team that wrote your mum. Liam from 2 episodes ago.
Very
Sweet
good.
baby
Nice
Liam.
reference.
Thank you. And then last question. We had this one. I got a lot to say about this. Relative to their own body weight, which insect is the strongest of all animals? Oscar, the answer.
It's, of course, an ant.
Now.
Has to be.
And
Uh-huh.
He's been waiting to use that.
Congratulations.
thank you.
Most teams wrote ants. It was about 60% ants. I've written down here ants, mostly ants, ant superiority, baby. And I believe that. Nick, as a small animal, where do you weigh in on this ant dung beetle divide? Because dung beetle is the answer that we've provided.
I feel like some of the insects there's been someone overlooked.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't have a suggestion there, but I feel like we need to open up the floor a little bit more.
I should be clear. I don't have like an alternate answer. I don't have like a counter. And we've looked at this. Julian's done some good fact checking. There's no evidence to suggest it could be anything else but the dung beetle. But anytime I see a dung beetle rolling one of those little piles of shit around, when I see those beetles rolling it, it just never looks very impressive to me.
Yeah.
I hear you.
When I see an ant, like a little tiny ant dragging like a big piece of bread, I go like, wow,
Yeah,
look at
that's-
that guy go.
he's-
I see
he's
a
at the
dung
gym.
beetle with a little dung ball that's only like 4 times bigger than him.
Pathetic.
Pathetic. Honestly.
Absolutely pathetic. Get your act together.
Man, I'm feeling so good at the moment. I'm
Yeah?
getting back in the gym and
Oh, what
Oh
the
my
hell?
God.
Oh, someone is crawling from
What's
the
this,
underverse. Who is that man? Oh, it's Julian.
Sorry, boys.
Where the hell were you?
Been down in my rabbit hole.
Oh, I see.
It's dark down there. I couldn't see shit with these on.
Well, I don't want to go there unless you convince us.
I think you want to join me down here, boys.
Okay.
I got something tasty down here.
Oh. Like what? Okay. We're crawling. We're going. Nick's going under the table.
All right, so this week I am talking about Arnott's shapes.
Arnott's. Arnott's?
To Arnott
Oh,
or
yes.
to Arnott?
Yeah, okay. Shapes.
We know them. We love them.
Yeah.
There's over 53 million packets consumed in Australia every year.
Holy shit.
They have
It's-
at least 3 upstairs in the office.
It's one of the most popular snacks in the country. And we had a question this week about the flavors and when they were introduced, when they were brought onto the market. So the question we asked was to arrange the flavors in chronological order from earliest to latest: cheddar, pizza, and savory. Want to give it a go, Nick?
I feel like I have seen the answers for this, but just based on complexity, you have to go with, what were my options again?
Cheddar, pizza, savory.
You have to go savory first. Like I don't know who's gone they're hitting like a pizza first, and then they're going, you know what?
Simplify.
We gotta take it back to savory.
Scrape that flavoring off.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm gonna go savory first, then pizza, then cheddar.
Yeah.
So close.
Out of
Wait,
three. I got 2 out of 3.
Is pizza last and cheese in the middle?
Yeah.
That's
Say-
weird. It's almost like they made a pizza. They had the base, they added the cheese, and then the toppings. That's so strange.
Yeah, pretty much. But there's a whole deeper history, and I've been trying to pinpoint this timeline for a long time. I wrote this question way at the start of my employment here, and it's just kind of got shuffled around and bumped.
Too many shape related.
Oh yeah,
Way too many shapes.
too much geometry in the quiz. But I think I've done a pretty good job at pinpointing the timeline because it's not an easy task. There's not just accessible, clear data on when all these flavors came out, but there were some pretty crazy ones. So, but I've got the first bombshell. Right, you ready?
Yep.
Whoa.
Shapes weren't invented by Arnott's.
Who were they invented by?
Brockhoff biscuits.
Brockhoff.
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 They're a bicky
Fuck
manufacturer.
off outta here.
Brockhoff with your biscuits.
That's what Arnott said.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they were a bicky manufacturer started by a German guy named Adolf.
Oh my word. Hang on. Oh, jeez.
We'll brush over that one.
Yeah.
But
Hence the name change. Yeah.
but he passed away in the late 1800s and passed the company
Did he
on.
kill himself in a bunker? Sorry. Sorry.
The year was 1776.
Sorry, derailing.
But he passed the company on to his son Frederick, and Fred is the one that produced the first shape. He invented the shape in 1954, and that
What's the
was
shape?
savory. And they came in 3 different shapes for the one flavor.
Interesting. Okay.
That's why it was called
Yeah.
shapes.
Okay.
Oh.
So it was savory, and it came as a triangle, a hexagon, and a plus sign.
Oh my God, that's so complex.
Forgive me. I don't usually look at the shapes. I just eat them. But there's usually at least 2 different shapes in a shapes packet now these days, right? There's not.
No, I don't think that's correct.
Really?
I think what you
Are
might
they all one unified shape? Because that's false
Yeah.
advertising then if it's called shapes and it's just the one.
They are shapes as a collective.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
But
fair.
interestingly, this is a sidetrack, but what you might be thinking of is recently in the past 10 years or so, they introduced Vegemite, and there was a big controversy because they did it in the shape of Australia, and they forgot
Oh,
Tasmania.
Tassie, of course. Yeah. You can
So-
still buy them, and they are still shaped like Australia.
Shaped like the mainland, but they introduced, that's the one that with 2 different shapes because they introduced a Tasmania shaped one.
Oh, yep.
And they way overcompensated. Now there's a massive Tasmania that's
Big
the
old
size of the
Tassie.
mainland.
Wow, that's fun.
Yeah. But
Dude, that's so funny to me because I was imagining them. I was like, yeah, they're in there. They're just all sitting
they're
at the
just the
bottom.
tiny
'cause
little
it's-
crumbs. Yeah.
They're just- they cut it off. It's
the
an
bottom
island.
of the
Yeah.
packet. Oh, that's fun.
But to go back, so we're at savory in 1954.
Yes.
The second flavor is one that doesn't exist now.
Ooh.
It was French onion.
Man, French onion really had a decade in the sun, didn't it? Everything was. You got French onion dip. You know.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there French onion of?
Anything that's like, hey, it's like Kraft might have made it in like during World War
Yeah.
II or something like that. They were like, we got a French onion variety. I don't know
Absolutely.
what it was. I don't know what it was about French onion. There wasn't anything else we had going on. They were just like, it's an onion and it's French.
Let's go.
Get it in there.
But yeah, so they had those 2 and they grew popularity from there. And then they introduced barbecue and chicken crimpy, classics now. But there was the threat of the American brands that was still imposing, like Nabisco, which at the time was the producer of Oreos and Ritz. So concerned that they were going to get destroyed by these American conglomerate companies, they began considering a merger with Arnott's. which was their largest competitor at the time. And so in 1964, Brockhoff's, Arnott's, and some smaller snack companies merged, forming the Australian Biscuit Company.
Right. Cool. I'd like to work there.
Me too. And in the decade that followed, that's when they came out with cheese, which later became cheddar. But this was when they started experimenting with some other flavors that, unfortunately, like French onion, didn't live to see the 21st century. Any guesses or things you wish that were Shapes flavors?
Oh, cotton candy.
Unfortunately not.
Mint.
Based on the period, like we got like a Spam flavor,
You're getting closer.
cheese and ham and cheese.
Hawaiian.
Okay, that comes later.
Okay. All right.
There is a Hawaiian pizza
Aloha.
that came later. But you're closer with Spam. In this period of time, they had beef.
Oh,
Just
I would
beef.
love a beef.
I feel like I have had a beef. Do we know when beef was
We have had
taken
a
off
few
the
beefs.
shelf?
Yeah, you got beef with.
Beef sounds familiar.
Do you know what year the beef was? Do you have that there?
So this is between the merger in 64 into the 70s.
Oh yeah, Nick, you were around then. 64.
Okay, maybe not quite. Maybe I'm imagining some other beef.
But they had one other in that time that I personally would like to try. They had zesty tomato.
Oh hell yeah.
That sounds awesome.
That's it. That's yeah.
That's
Get that
giving
on
me,
shelves.
Giving me atomic tomato vibes.
Yeah, exactly,
Sandboy style.
exactly. But this is also something I found funny. Around that time, they still had French onion, but they decided to change the name to French accent.
What?
They changed the flavor of the shape to French accent shapes.
You know it's on thin ice when they're like, the onion's not really doing it for people.
French is the draw card.
Let's look at these two words. Which one can we emphasize? Yeah, good.
But yeah, and then in 1973, Arnott's just sort of took over and the name became Arnott's Shapes. And
I feel like, just as a side note, I feel like you're going to get roasted for your pronunciation of Arnott's.
Arnott's is what I know. Yeah.
what, because I'm saying Arnott's?
Yeah.
Is that-
I've always heard it as Arnott's.
It's more like, I mean,
it's
that's
spelled
the Australian
Arnott's.
accent, right? Because we're like going
Arnott's.
Yeah, Arnott's.
Arnott's. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, because I'm like,
I've never
it's
thought that
very,
deeply about it.
it's very possible that it is Arnott's, and we've just gone like, yeah, it's Arnott's, right? Yeah.
Here we go. This is it, everyone.
Arnott's.
There, lady told me so. She's gonna say it to you extra slow now.
Okay.
Arnott's.
Arnott's.
Apparently,
Okay.
apparently.
I stand correct.
But it is spelt right. Like
Yeah.
even the pronunciation guide they've given us looks like it's Arnott's. Anyway, whatever.
Anywho, we're into the 80s and the 90s now, and that's when they brought in pizza and nacho cheese, which are still around now. They brought out Hawaiian pizza as well, like you guessed. But they also had a few very Aussie. They were trying to tailor to like the very Aussie market around this
Not
time.
Tasmania though.
Not Tasmania, definitely not Tasmania. But they brought out. Can you guess these ones? Any Aussie
It's
classics?
Milo.
Your guesses
I mean,
are
there was the Vegemite one, obviously.
The
Apart from
Vegemite is a new one, yeah.
What I don't know, sausage.
Is this
sizzle.
recently meat pie? I know there was a meat pie.
So
one.
meat pie was one that they brought in around this time. They got rid of it and then they brought it back as the 4 and 20 classic meat
yes.
pie.
Yeah.
But there were a few others. There was chicken palmy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There was Kingscliff fish and chips.
that's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
want to try that one.
Specifically Kingscliff.
Yeah. And then, Hawaiian pizza and meat pie, which got brought back later. But one of the newest ones that's come out now after Vegemite and meat pie got brought back, I only heard about this recently, but I've heard nothing but good things. I haven't tried it yet. Have you heard they've brought out the fully loaded char-grilled Korean barbecue?
No,
Whoa.
but that's the longest title they've ever done.
Yeah.
and I hope it delivers. That
Shapes
sounds great.
Fully loaded.
We should bring some of those in next week.
Oh, for
and
sure.
we'll try them.
We'll have a taster.
Damn, I didn't know they brought out the new drop.
I
New
know.
drop, everyone.
New shapes.
New
just
shape
dropped.
drop. Wow.
Next week we'll do another ranker, but not in chronological. It'll be in
Yeah.
best.
That's sounding a lot better than is it sour blueberry
Twisties.
Oh,
The
Twisties.
Twisties, yeah.
Come
Did
on,
that make
man.
it to the quiz?
I think it got cut after the
Well,
tester.
let's give context to that. We were going to have a topical question on the new Twisty flavor that was brought out. What was it? What did you say?
Should we be talking about this? Is this not quiz content? Do we
No,
want-
well, I don't
okay.
think it's going to make it. Didn't
got,
make
it
it.
got
Okay.
cut. It's not. It was a couple months ago.
And see, this is the problem. This is the problem with the stack industry now. They're literally just a vehicle for people like us to go, what's the new flavor? And you go, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then someone buys it, and that's enough to make it worthwhile. And then we all we just remember that there's a brand called Twisties, and that was the point of the whole exercise. But God, that sounds fucking awful. It reminds me of this place that's near where I live in Sunnybank. And they do literally like a sour skewer, a sour meat skewer. And you would think sweet and sour, you know how it's like,
Yeah.
no, it literally tastes like it's got sour candy on it. And it is unbelievably revolting.
You've tried this?
Yeah.
You had some?
I didn't buy it. Like I have eaten it a couple of times because other people bought it going like, oh, this sounds interesting. And it's just awful. And that's the only thing I can think of when I think of sour blueberry Twisties, a chip that is quite savory.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my hill to die on. I'm sick of these flavors coming out. They're getting more and more ridiculous, and they're just for like advertising's sake and not
Shock value.
They're not trying to make good flavors. You can't tell me that that's going to be a good flavor. No one,
No.
no one thinks. You know, like you like, Vegemite, the Vegemite flavor, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I actually had some. I was like, not too bad. That's pretty good, and
I
it does
like
taste like Vegemite.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening with the sour blueberry. We've reached end times in the snack industry. That's
We
it.
have reached end times for this segment. Nuts. Hey, welcome back to the mid-show mini.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Mid-show mini. We first of all, we have some apologies to you, faithful listener. Last week, we were supposed to answer a question that had been burning with you for 2 weeks. Hey, what was that last trailer that Cayden played when we played this summer? It went a little something like this.
Romance, fame. Mia Thermopolis had it all, but only in her dreams. But now, something's about to happen that will change everything.
And we couldn't get it in the podcast studio here. We left it to you guys, and no doubt all of you have got it. But Nick, do you have any idea what this was?
The only thing that I had was, and it's definitely not right. I just heard Mia Thermopolis, and I was like, my big fat
That's
Greek
all
wedding.
I've been able to
Really?
think of. I'm so stuck on it.
We're going to reveal it now.
Yeah.
All of you are in your cars screaming it at us.
Uh-huh.
It is, in fact, the Princess Diaries, apparently. That's the main character's name. Anne Hathaway
Anne Hathaway's name in that is
is Mia
Thermopolis.
Thermopolis. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I just looked up Mia Thermopolis. If this is coincidence and there's another Mia Thermopolis in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, I apologize. But that's not the game we're playing today. We've answered that now. We have dealt with our quarrel. I have a music game for both of you today.
Oh my
It is a
God.
fun one.
Yes, I like
You know
that.
how good I am at music games.
Yes, that's why we got you in, Nick. So this is a game I used to play with my family back in, I'm going to say, like, lockdown. It's called Bandle. We're just purely ripping off a website today. It's very fun. And it's we've done stuff similar here at, like, Quizmeisters, where we introduce one layer of the song at a time, but they've recreated it, so hopefully it's royalty free. If you're not listening to this, then we got copyright struck. But
If you're
anyway,
not listening
if
to
you're not
this.
listening to this, that's why. Hope that explains it. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna play a song, and it's gonna bring in the drums first, and then the bass and piano, and then whatever else have you until one of you get it. So Julian, you will be going against Nick. Nick, you will be going against Julian. And I'm just here to facilitate.
Should we deprive our senses to lock into the sound?
Yeah, wear some glasses, boys.
Well, I would say that this is probably,
Distracting.
promoting senses in that it's so painful.
Yeah.
True.
All right, here we go. Everyone play along at home. This is the first song.
When you have an erection, the spongy tissue, the corpora cavernosa around.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I clicked on the wrong tab. All right, here we go. This is song number 1.
Y'all ready for this? Bow, bow.
I can give you a hint.
Okay.
Released in 2013.
I felt that.
That's all you're getting for that. That has 1.2 billion views on YouTube.
That's
apparently.
all we're getting?
For this first layer.
Okay.
Any guesses yet?
You say 1.2 billion?
1.2 billion.
2013.
2013.
Billion.
Yep. I'm going to go to the next layer.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting something.
You getting something? Any guesses?
Man, that's like I've heard that song.
It's
but
probably you've dealt with so many of the music games in the quiz,
Yeah.
so I imagine
Yeah,
your
yeah.
head is flooded with all kinds of pop melodies.
yeah, unfortunately, the names and artists of which usually escape me. Maybe the artist. The track name or the album name. I'm definitely not good with.
Let's go to layer 3.
Now I'm way off. Like
Wow.
Yeah, that's for
Has
me
that
too.
confused the issue?
the second part, I was like, oh, I know what this is, but now I'm like,
I was also thinking after the second part, it had a maybe sort of Miley Cyrus vibe, but that I don't think.
Lana Del Rey.
Oh.
I don't know what the. Hang on, we can guess. We can get what? Okay, what Lana Del Rey song do you think it is?
Summertime Sadness.
Let's have a look. Lana Del Rey, Summertime Sadness. It is not. Here's layer number 4.
Mhm.
Nick is shaking his head.
I'm getting further and further away
Yeah.
from knowing what this is. Ah, damn.
Julian, have a guess. Have a guess, mate. Have a guess. 2013, 1.2 billion views. If it's what I think it is, it went number 1.
The piano, like the vibes are giving me like Adele or something like that now.
Adele. Hello. It's not Adele. Hello. Here we go. Layer number 5.
Oh, it was Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. That is, of course, Miley Cyrus, Wrecking Ball. Wow.
I remember thinking Miley Cyrus as well at one point, and that's what I think I was getting from the second part.
Yeah, same.
And I couldn't quite. Yeah, but then the other sections just like fully drowned that out.
Wrecking Ball specifically went through my head when I also thought of We Can't Stop, and then when I disregarded We Can't Stop, I disregarded that too. God damn.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's tough.
But
We've eased in now.
yeah, exactly. I imagine everyone at home may have got that quicker. We'll see. But this is your next one. Your next one. Okay, you ready? This has 1.1 billion views.
Okay.
And was released in the year 2000.
Okay.
Here we go.
On the real Slim Shady, please stand up.
He's crushed it. He has absolutely crushed it in one.
Well done. Well
Well
done.
done.
I'll never do that well at this sort of game ever again. That has to be Eminem though. Like,
Yeah.
he was the only person doing like basically what sounded like funny music.
Yeah, it's like weird
Yeah.
jumpy bass,
Yeah.
very quirky. Okay, excellent. Julian, you need to redeem yourself here, okay? This is released in the year 1996
Okay.
and has 677 million views
Yeah,
on
okay.
YouTube.
I was like, is Julian born? in 1996?
No. Here we go. Layer 1.
Oh.
Arms and shady, arms and shady. Could be anything.
That sound of cymbal, I can't stop myself from being like, y'all ready for this?
Yeah. Anything, Julian?
We were like both talking over it the whole time.
It was pretty repetitive.
Yeah, nothing solid. I thought maybe like Human League or something, but I think that would be a bit older.
Well, let's go to layer number 2.
Listen. Oh, Spice Girls. Never
Oh.
gonna give you up.
Spice Girls never. No, hang on.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Yeah. Whatever that song's called.
Do you know what it's called? Tell you what
If you want to be my lover? No.
It's one of those words.
Is it wannabe? And that's
Yeah.
I thought that was.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. You crushed
Okay.
it. Crushed. That's a team effort, though. That's a team effort. I'll say you're all tied up, and this one is for the win. Here we go.
I like sloving it as a team, you know?
Okay, well, you can
No,
still
it's
solve
fine.
this.
No, we got to compete.
1975. Not the band, the
Holy
year.
shit.
And this has 1.9 billion views.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
I already have a guess.
You already got a
Yeah,
guess?
I was going to say.
Do you want me to?
Without even listening to it,
Yeah.
and that isn't, I don't know what you're going to get from that. That sounds like someone like trying to test the sound on the drum
Sound
kit.
check.
No. It's
Bohemian Rhapsody?
no, I
That's what
was
I was
going to
gonna
say
say.
the song that blew up from the guy drinking the ocean spray because that got it jacked up so many views.
Are you talking about Fleetwood Mac?
Fleetwood Mac.
Dreams?
Yeah, Dreams. I was like, because that
Fleetwood Mac
that-
Dreams?
that would have come out around.
It's earlier, I think. 71, I think that was.
Okay, all right. I was like, if anything because the weird thing is to have a song that old have that many views
Yeah.
because usually they have to have had something like give
Yeah.
them like a just from like the digital age, like that people don't have
Yeah,
that many
exactly.
views on like really old
Yeah.
songs.
That's true.
That's why I thought Bo Rap. That's
Bo
just a
Rap?
massive song from that time.
I
But-
think you might be on the money. Let's listen to the bass.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
congratulations.
guess that's gotten so many more since the movie and stuff came out. Because
Yeah.
everyone's like, obviously Bohemian Rhapsody's like gets played at like nightclubs and stuff still. But
It's played everywhere.
yeah.
I think now we're actually tied because now we've both got one and we got one as a team.
Okay. Yeah,
So
okay,
this
good.
can be the one.
I'm not going to give you the year or the views.
Okay.
Here we go. You're going in blind. Layer 1, drums.
The Chevy, the Love Shack.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I can't remember the
B-52s?
artist. The B-52s Love Shack.
No, that's what I was going to
Oh.
guess. I was
Wow,
really
I thought I was on it.
I
there.
was really confident you had that then too. Okay, level 2.
I was about to
bass.
say Love Shack.
Jack. Here we go.
Living on a Prayer? No. Is it? It is Living on a Prayer, isn't it?
It is living on a
Yeah.
prayer. Well done. Well done.
I was starting to go, Blink 182?
Wow. Well, hey, that was Bandle, everyone. Thank
Wow.
you. Thank you so much for
Fun.
playing.
As we now begin our descent, we can prepare to depart from the podcast room and our cars and our bedrooms and go back to our lives. So, thanks.
Right, we got to get off this plane, I guess. Oh, wow. And
No,
that
we
is-
got to sit on here for another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Until everyone gets their bags.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
In
we got to wait.
silence.
Sorry, I just need to reach that bag. Yeah, wow, thank you. Wow, what an episode of Wrong Answers Only, the Quizmeisters after show. Thank you so much, Nick, for being here.
Thank
An
you.
absolute
Thank you for having me.
legend. Nick, you got anything to say to the people?
Definitely not. No.
Yeah, cool, that's awesome. And hey, what do they need to scrub up on for next week? And maybe give them 4 hints because last week we forgot to give
skipped them last time.
Skipped them last time.
Let me see. If you scrub up on your sequels,
Oh,
your celebrity family trees,
and
and you want 2 more?
yeah, please.
Your capital cities
And
and your national anthems.
okay,
I think it'll very much come in handy.
excellent.
That's the biggest hints I've probably ever given.
Okay.
Oh, here's one little thing that I can't believe didn't come up naturally in the quiz. If you guys are looking for just a phenomenal ad, just one, just like super entertaining, hits all the right notes, go to Walton Goggles, goggleglasses.com.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, yeah.
It's unreal. Yeah, Walter Goggins goggle glasses.
It's my favorite product of all time.
So go Google Walter Goggins goggle.
Yeah,
Walton Goggins is the man of the hour. He's kind of like the quasi, what would you say, like the if Pedro Pascal's like the biggest,
right.
the hottest man in the world right now. He's like the what are they, like the
yin
anti,
and yang?
he's
The
like on the,
antithesis
you know,
to
in
Pedro
like
Pascal.
in Superman, there's like a weirdo version. You know
Yeah,
how they have
yeah.
like a opposite version. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like that.
Yeah.
He's like that for Pedro.
Well put.
And he's got this product called the Walton Goggins goggle glasses. And I just couldn't bring it up during the quiz, but please watch the ad for that. And Walton, please give me some sunglasses.
Yeah, please send them to the office.
Yeah.
We all want some blue ones, please.
I'll take some limoncello.
Yeah, he's got some crazy
I want
colors.
the mama's skillet, please. And just blue for Cayden.
Yeah, exactly. But until then, until Walton decides to grace us with his presence, it's goodbye from me.
It is goodbye from me.
And he also.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a good one.
Wrong answers only.